Usually when someone picks up a guitar and plays their go-to Beatles tune, they'll play something like this. Or this. But how often do they bust out with this one? Not often, that's how. But sometime back when one of my guitar students came into the lesson and just started playing Octopuss Garden out of the blue, it occurred to me how much I had overlooked that song, and it was really kind of cool to see it played right before my eyes. So today I'd like to take a look at 4 overlooked Beatles classics that are surprisingly cool to play and might teach you a thing or two. But before I start, I'd like to thank myself for sponsoring this video. Thank you, Anthony. Well, you're welcome. It's my pleasure to help you keep this channel afloat. Anything new from the shop this week? Why, yes. We now have an ultimate advanced pentatonic workout as well as an ultimate bar chord workout. Anything on the way? Oh, nothing much. Just a 22-week guitar course for beginning and intermediate players. Ooh, sounds exciting. I can't wait to see it. Anywho, let's talk about a hidden gem of a song from the Let It Be album, I've Got a Feeling. I actually never heard this song until well into my adulthood, but when I did, I was instantly hooked. I've Got a Feeling is actually one of those rare instances of a true 50-50 collaboration between Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Paul wrote the main theme, I've Got a Feeling, and they ended up combining it with a song that John Lennon had written called Everybody Had a Hard Year. It's pretty obvious when that part of the song takes over. What this song taught me was this clever little A to D maneuver that goes like this. Of course, John added this high A on the E string for effect. When you put it all together with the cool little bridge, this is what you get. Now, I don't know about you, but I listened to Octopuss Garden for years, but never really paid attention to the extremely cool guitar parts. I guess I was a little distracted by the whimsical, childlike nature of the song and those beautiful vocal harmonies. But on that day when my guitar student, Mila, I think her name was, came into her lesson and started playing that part for me, I was like, whoa, 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 show me that. Yes, that's right. Sometimes the student shows the guitar teacher something. Anyway, Octopuss Garden is one of those rare songs that was written by Ringo himself. He came up with the concept when he was out on Peter Sellers' boat. That's right, the Pink Panther, Dr. Strangelove. Ringo was out on the water that day eating squid for the first time of all things when the captain started telling him the story about how octopuses would create these gardens on the seabed out of rocks and other shiny objects. Now at that time he was feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the growing hostilities between the members of the Beatles. So out on the sea that day, voila! A song was born about getting away from all the craziness and living under the sea. The guitar intro and verse use 2 very important concepts, including this extended pentatonic scale, as well as these 4-string chords that all guitarists should know. You put it all together, and this is what you get. So it's pretty well known by now that George Harrison became increasingly frustrated during his years with the Beatles due to his being second fiddle, or third fiddle if you will, behind Paul McCartney and John Lennon. That said, when one of his songs did make it on an album, they were often unforgettable. And such was the case with one of my personal favorite George Harrison songs, the underrated Revolver gem, I Want to Tell You. This one has a really cool guitar riff at the beginning and a pretty interesting little chord progression over the verse. I'm going to go over both of them today. Now, full disclosure, the verse section is really more piano driven than anything else, but I love the way it sounds on guitar, so let's look at it that way. For this last song, I'm going to need to switch to my acoustic guitar. Just a sec. Okay, so the first album where I think they really hit their stride as being the great innovators they became was Rubber Soul. And on that album is a really cool song with guitar parts that you kind of have to learn how to play to truly appreciate. The song is Michelle, which Paul McCartney was inspired to write after listening to a Chet Atkins tune called Trombone. It had this descending bass line over a sort of chord melody up on top. And Paul had never heard anything like that before. So as most great songwriters are compelled to do with awesome new ideas, they take them and turn them into a great song. And what he came up with was that really cool guitar intro with a little chord melody and a descending bass line below it. Of course, to sound like the album, you've got to put a capo on the 5th fret.
Bell. These are words that I remember well. My Michelle, my bell.
Those are your 4 songs for today. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please subscribe, hit the bell so that you get instant notifications every time I make a new video, and I'll see you next time.